Something I've learned recently and something that I've been very conscious of recently is just understanding how our everyday decisions is what is keeping us in our predicament. It is what is keeping us in our situation physically, mentally, spiritually. And these decisions in the moment aren't that big. They're very small, but day by day they build up. And you look back on your life and you kind of realize the past months you haven't been making the progress that you think you could have been making. And these are silent decisions. I think these are, if you're unaware, these silent decisions will dictate your life. Usually it is our habits that we do every day. Let's say doom scrolling, let's say eating junk food, let's say not working out when we know we have to, or not doing the things that we know we have to. It is these decisions and agreements that we make with ourselves that is what keeps us stuck. And like I said, these things are always silent. You never announce it out loud that today you're going to be lazy, or today you're not going to do what has to be done, or today you're going to blame others. It is not something loud. It is usually not something that we are even aware of, because it's kind of our subconscious brain that is running off of these patterns. And the more we do them, the more our subconscious brain associates with them. Just like when we're driving home, we don't consciously say out loud that we need to go straight and then take a right and then take a right and then take a left. It is just that it is subconsciously. We kind of do it unconsciously. We do it without thinking. So it goes the same with your actions. Most of the time you're not really thinking. You're taking the right, you're going straight, you're going left. And then you end up in somewhere you don't want to be, because we are not aware. I think the lack of self-awareness is what causes this. And when I say lack of self-awareness, I mean the understanding that it's your decisions that are keeping you stuck. We could blame others, we could blame the government, we could blame our parents, we could blame a lot of things. We can make up a lot of excuses. By the end of the day, those things will not change. The only thing that we can change is us. The only thing that we can change is our actions. We can build new habits that are conducive to the life we want to live. And ideally it sounds great, but because our subconscious brain is so used to this, it is so used to being complacent and comfortable. And most of the time, when we're put in a situation where we can choose comfort or do what has to be done, we usually choose comfort. And in that moment, it's not a big deal. Your life doesn't come crashing down because you decide to lay on the couch. It's no big deal. But it kind of is a big deal, because these are the silent choices that we make. And it becomes even more dangerous when you don't see the problem, or you don't see what these small choices are doing to your life, how they're impacting your results in life. And I think, so this is where self-awareness comes in, because honestly, you kind of need to put the blame on yourself. You need to understand that your situation, you're the problem. You're usually the reason you're in your situation. You're usually the reason your situation hasn't changed. But once you become self-aware, you realize that if you are the problem or the reason, you can also be the solution. You are really the only solution to your own life. No one else can really help you, and that doesn't mean that no one cares for you, no one loves you, no one supports you. But your decisions, your actions is what will dictate your life. Even when it comes to just your brain, your thoughts, it is your decisions that will dictate your relationship with your brain, your relationship with others, your relationship with money, with food, with everything. It is your choice. And in order to change, we must make the kind of boring decisions every day. That's what really makes change. It's not that one day you're going to make this decision and boom, your whole life's going to change. It is making the decisions every day and understanding that these decisions are boring. These decisions aren't fun. These decisions are hard. And you'll be doing it for a while and probably see no results. And you just have to keep pushing. I think it's very hard to kind of trust the process to navigate uncertainty when nowadays everything is built off immediate gratification. You know? Nowadays society is built on having everything in the palm of your hands. You can find any answer you want. You can view someone's life. You can view a specific type of content, any movie you want to watch, any TV show, any song. You all have it at the ends of your fingertips. You can literally get whatever you want in a matter of seconds. Even food. You don't want to go out. You don't want to buy your groceries. You don't want to walk around, get ready, drive to the store, spend time. You can get it all delivered to you in the comfort of your own home. And this immediate gratification subconsciously wires us that we lose faith very quickly in our actions and what we're doing if we don't see results immediately. And this is something that is very hard to navigate, because when you're putting in all this work and this effort and it's hard, it's not glamorous, and you're getting no results, to some it could be discouraging. And that's because our brain is so used to getting our reward, Like video games also, like we get our reward very quickly. It's easy to achieve things on your phone, I think also spending money on unnecessary things, that is also what keeps us trapped. You buy a $8 coffee every day, and it's not a big deal. This $8 coffee that day will not plummet your financial situation. You won't go broke. You won't do this and that. But it is just those spending habits that are just for the gratification, that moment in which it is keeping us stuck. Because the more you spend, the more you have to work. And the more you work is the more time that is being taken away from you. So the more you spend, the more your time will be taken away. When you're spending, you're also spending your time in the future. Because you're gonna have to keep on working if you want to keep spending, and this is another thing that keeps us trapped, Your subscriptions for your entertainment. You're gonna have to work more to sustain that. When your TV shows, you're really getting nothing out of life from your TV shows. You're just getting entertained, you're just getting distracted, but your situation isn't improving. Your TV show is not going to improve your situation, And that's kind of the big thing in society where it is those little choices. Low-key, every single choice you make. I'm not going to say every single choice. I'm not going to say you have to be a robot. But understanding that the habits that you're building, the way your day is structured, the stuff that you could be doing but you're not, is truly what is dictating your life and your circumstances. So we have to be self-aware. We have to be very accountable, very transparent that it is only us that can keep us in this situation, and it's only us that can get us out of this situation. And once you realize this, it is pretty liberating. It can also be intimidating, but once you kind of get that instant gratification out of your mind and get comfortable with taking the hard and boring steps and getting no results, but knowing that in the long run you will get results, your life will change, I think that's the key. You need to have some faith, Take me, for example. I'm posting every day, and I could get discouraged from the amount of views I'm getting, but I know that with time and improving and controlling what I can control, that will change my outcome in life. You know, it is taking charge of the things you can control, where your money is going to. I'm not saying don't pay your bills, but all the unnecessary spending, all of your time being wasted on activities that do nothing for you, or just wasting your time doom scrolling, sitting on the couch when you could be productive, you know? Like, what are you doing after your job, before your job, that is going to get you out of that situation that you are unsatisfied with, you know? What you're feeding your body, what you're feeding your brain. These are all the little decisions that we make. So, you can solve all your problems internally. It's just the little choices we make that we have to allow to come up to the surface, you know? And this is a process. Because shoot, there's even some things that I do where I realize like this is kind of keeping me where I don't want to be, these decisions that I'm making, you know? Even after understanding all of this, there are still things that float to the surface that I become aware of, like, wow, like I need to control this, I need to handle this. So really all comes down to being self-aware, taking accountability, and then now aligning your actions with who you want to become. So you can do it. But if you made it to the end of the video, I'm grateful. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that. Thank you.